A shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to the Akim out here pushing this gospel and truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability given to them by Yahweh Bahashem El Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. May the election Yahweh Bahashem El Shai, Lord willing, fall upon your houses. Hey man, so we were at camp yesterday, and the elder Karataza, as well as the elder brother Bayan, of the GMS Phoenix camp, man, and they were ultimately talking about going into women, man, and one thing that came up, was this divesting, man, and it kind of sent me back. I was like, I had to ask, like, hey, what is that, and I want to go ahead and look up that word real quick. I'm just gonna do it on my computer while I'm here. Divesting, and it goes into to rid oneself of something that one no longer wants or requires, right? And this is what's happening, man. You got these so-called black women divesting from the so-called black men. They no longer want or require the attention of a so-called black man. They're ultimately leaning towards the so-called white man, Asian man, and all these other races other than their own. And this is what's happening, man. And it set me back, man. Because I didn't know that was an actual thing. I already knew that, but I didn't know it was an actual thing. So I'm gonna read this because I went on divesting as black women divesting from black men, and this came up. I was looking like a second website or the first or second website, yeah, and I clicked on it, and this is what came up. It says, as a black man, are you concerned that so many black women are divesting from black men to pursue and marry white men? And this fucking wicked ass Jake, man, this Judite woman comes on, this their handle, exterminate the Bantu Y chromosome, whatever. It says, are you concerned? And women get petty as hell, man. So just imagine, a petty type attitude behind this as you're reading it. It says, are you concerned with the black male's K wording, which is going into killing black women in America every 5.5 hours? Are you concerned with the abundant amount of black males who slaughter black women's name and image in the media 24/7, comparing us to men, telling us how we're burnt roaches and we amount to nothing? Now, just that right there, man, you don't hear about that, man. You don't hear men calling burnt roaches, this and the third. That's something that she heard on her media, somebody around her area, or one of the few cases that somebody called her a fucking burnt roach or whatever, man. And you don't really hear about, there's no statistic, as far as I'm aware, of a black woman getting killed by a black man, every 5.5 hours, man. So she's ultimately, just throwing out numbers out there, man, throwing out, because pettiness, man, just saying this shit. And then before I continue on, I'm gonna read the scriptures. It's Proverbs 9:13. It says, a foolish woman is clamorous, she is simple and knoweth nothing, man. And that's exactly what she's doing, man. She's just spewing out bullshit, man. Being petty, man, not even thinking about the question that has been asked, but I'll keep going. It says, comparing us to men, telling us how we're burnt roaches and we amount to nothing. Hey, well, you look at the so-called black woman today, man. The black woman is as far as job and stuff like that, and getting a car, getting their own apartment, this, that, and the third. Hey, well, they're more successful than the so-called black men, because the so-called black men has to deal with more obstacles as far as the so-called white man and white woman hating on him, him being looked at as a fucking thug, him being looked at as a murderer, a drug dealer, this, that, and the third. You don't see too many, you look at all these movies, man. You look at, Juice, you look at Life, you look at Roots, you look at all these, Boys in the Hood, man. You look at, just a lot of these movies. Don't Be a Menace, You look at all these movies, they're all so-called black men, and the black woman is Yeah, you see some black women there, man. But it's not necessarily the so-called black woman that is being, portrayed as those things, man. You know, so her saying that the black woman or the black man is going around saying that the black woman don't compare to amount to anything. Hey, well, that's bullshit, man. Again, you look at society. You even have Edomites talking about how they would rather have a so-called black woman, running their shop while they're gone than their own people, man. Because a so-called black woman is gonna quick, fast, hurry up and do what the so-called white man wants her to do, man. Just so she can keep her job, keep her position, and she's gonna, the brothers were talking about how the so-called black woman is like the bulldog for Esau Edom, man. She'll sit there and she'll run a tight ship. She'll sit there and she'll keep everything in check, you know. And the brothers also brought out, that movie that's 12 Years a Slave, which is a good movie, by the way, man. It gives you a lot of history on, what happens. Because Esau Edom is always putting, things in movies. And it's going right over you people's heads, man. So you watch 12 Years a Slave. There was this woman, she was on the plantation. She was the basically, the slave masters, bitch, basically, man. For lack of a better word, and she was basically saying, I haven't got my back whipped in years, and while watching these other slaves getting their back whipped, man. And she was, basically mistreating these other slaves, man, as if she's better than them, man. So because, she's in those type of positions, because she's favored by the so-called white man rather than the so-called black man, that put a sense of pride on her, man. And this is dealing with, not every single last so-called black woman, but this is dealing, and it really, it goes all the way down to all you Israelite women, man, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American women, man. A lot of our women have that prideful ass look on them, man. And it's because they're being favored by the so-called white man and white woman rather than, other than their counterparts, man. The so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American males. They're being favored by those, by the so-called white folks, and put in certain positions to where, they gotta, ultimately separate themselves from their men, and these women willfully do these things, man. So they want to, that it is truly is a thing, man, where these women say, no, I'm not gonna be with, the same person, or another black man, or this and the third, when I can be with the white man who's gonna put me in a position of power, or, position of this, that, and the third, because the so-called black man does not have any power here, man. Majority of our men are in these prisons, man, or in jail, or or just have been traumatized by being in basically put in a cage where they can't even actually cope with society, man. So they're in and out of jail, and or dead, man, or into selling drugs, or into doing things that are that'll get them hemmed up, man, that are dangerous, man, like being in gangs and being in shootouts and this, that, and the third, man. These women don't want to be a part of that, man. So because they look at the white man and saying, oh, he's established, I want to be established. Hell yeah, they're separating from these men, man. From their own people, And again, it's mainly because of their attitude and what they want. They see, what the white man is offering, and then they run at that stuff, man. But I'll keep reading, man. It says saying how white. It says saying, halfway through, it says saying how white and Hispanic females are better than us. Why? Because they have a not so. They're still, white women are prideful. Our Hispanic women, the Israelite, so-called Hispanic women are prideful as well, but not like the so-called black woman, man. The so-called black woman feels she's just entitled to every motherfucking thing, man. And it talks about, how the Israelite woman is going to be haughty, man. How they have prideful looks, And we're gonna stop right there. I'm gonna grab another scripture. It's Isaiah the 3rd chapter, the 16th verse, it says, "Moreover, the Lord Yahweh Bashem El Shai saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty," meaning prideful, "and walk with stretched forth necks, and wanton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet." Basically, having their nose, to the sky, man, being stuck up, as if they're better than everybody, man. You know, it says, "Therefore the Lord will smite thee with the scab, the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion." Meaning what, man? You look at these so-called black women, they're fucking chicken heads, man. They're fucking chicken heads, man. They got no hair, their hair can't grow, and it tells you in 1 Corinthians the 11th chapter that the hair of a woman is her glory, man. So these women out here, these so-called black women, they don't have no damn glory, man, because they want to be prideful, because they want to sit here and think that they're this, that, and the third, when they're really nothing, man. They're really nothing. They want to sit there and separate from the man and say, "Oh, I don't need you, I don't need this." Well, guess what, man? You do. 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter, or yeah, 1 Corinthians the 11th chapter, the 8th and 9th verse, it says the woman wasn't made for the man, but the man was made, or it's like the man was not made for the woman, but the woman was made for the man. So yes, you do need a man. We don't need you, but you need us, man. And because you want to have that prideful type attitude, you want to have that, "Oh, I don't need you" type attitude, and well, guess what, man? The Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai is destroying you women. I'll keep reading in Isaiah 3 and 18. It says, "In that day the Lord will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet and their calves, and around their tires like the moon, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs, and the headbands and the tambourines and the earrings, rings and nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pines, the glass and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils." And so that all these things that make you look beautiful, make you look attractive, make you look shiny, and all these oils, and all this good stuff, man. Because our women were decked back then, man. You go into the time of of King Solomon and King David, and we were decked back then, man. Our people were beautiful, our people were magnificent, we looked crazy, man. Especially our freaking women. But because of us going off, because of us having that prideful ass attitude, the Lord Yahweh Shem El Shai took that all away, man. Especially you women, man. Continue reading on to verse 24. It says, "And it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink." A lot of you fucking women, you fucking smell like shit, man. You don't even know how to fucking bathe, man. You women out here, you take showers. When your private part is likened unto a wound. It needs to soak. It needs to clean out. A lot of you women don't clean out the inside of your area, man. When a man goes and does his business inside, and ultimately ejaculates inside you, you women don't clean that out, man. It sits there and it fucking rots, man. So it's fucking disgusting, man. And the Lord Yahweh, that's part of the curses that were going to come upon you women for your attitudes, man. It says, "And instead of a gird, a rent, and instead of well set hair, baldness, man. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth and burning, and instead of beauty." So you women are going to be ugly. You women are going to be fat. You women are going to be fucking bald headed. You women are going to smell like shit. And this and this comes by you women being you women being prideful, you women being, "Oh, me, I type attitude, man. Because a lot of you women, when a man tells you, or when you say that you want a traditional man, you women aren't traditional yourselves. You women barely know how to fucking cook. You burn water, you burn toast, So when you women want to sit here and fucking complain, you got to think about what you have done, because Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man, has given you all these resources like, food stamps, like, Section 8, like all these different things that they offer you women, but then turn around and say, "Oh, no, you can't have the man in the home, which was ultimately a plan that they had from the get-go to destroy the nation of Israel. Because when a man and a woman are not together, if they have kids together, and they have a son, hey, the man is not in the house to teach the son how to be a man. So the woman is stuck in the position to try and teach him how to be a man. But a woman will never be able to teach a man how to be a man, because they're a fucking woman. All you know how to be is a woman. And a man is to think logically. A man is to get out there and go and work for what he wants. A man is to go out there and get scrapes, bumps, bruises, and not cry about it, man. Hey, but you women, you chose these things, these material things over men, and then want to sit here and lie. I'll keep reading. It says the amount of black males who are uninterested in getting married and would rather leave us as single mothers, man. And it's not to some degree it is, the man's fault, but mostly it is your fault, man. Really ultimately this all boils down to the curses. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. Going into Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, man. Slacky, let me pull it up. I didn't have it pulled up, so just bear with me, Baba Kusha. This Deuteronomy 28 and Slacky, I'm reading through it real quick. Okay, Khan, this is Deuteronomy chapter. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 54, and I'll drop down to verse 56. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, why? Because they're being raised by the woman, man. Men are being raised, really, boys are being raised by women, making them effeminate, right? It says, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and towards the wife of his bosom, and towards the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. And that's exactly what's happening, man. We see that 24/7, man. Dropping down to verse 26, dealing with you women. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter, and towards her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards her children, which she shall bear, for she shall eat them, and for want of all things circling the seeds of the straightness, wherewith the enemy shall distress thee in the gates. Right, so the point was, the woman is ultimately going to have her eyes, against her own children, her husband, and so on and so forth. Now, we read in the 54th chapter that the man will have his eye, evil towards his wife as well, but as in this society, the woman actually has power to leave the man and require, what is that, child support, and this, that, and the third, and still be able to receive these things, man. The man can't go and get child support from the woman. The man can't go to go to court and this, that, and the third, and win custody majority of the time. The woman is almost always winning the custody over the kids, man. You don't hear too much about, the black man getting custody or getting child support. It may happen, once every fucking blue fucking moon, but it is what it is, man. And majority of this, the separation, or a man not being interested in a so-called black woman, is because you black women are fucking gone, man. You're prideful, you want to, which in this, actually, I'll keep reading on this article. It says, the amount of black males who are uninterested in getting married and would rather leave us as single mothers, the amount of mental manipulation and high domestic violence cases you do towards the black woman, while having the audacity to the man we stick beside you. And I'll stop right there. Right, so she's talking about mental manipulation and domestic violence. And when you look at, all these videos of the so-called, black woman, beating on the so-called black man, and the black man trying not to hit her because she can hit him all fucking day, man, all fucking day. But as soon as he puts his hand on her, hey, she gets to call the cops. And because, majority of the cops are so-called white men, they're gonna come to the aid of Eve, man. Quick, fast, in a fucking hurry, man. And the so-called black man is gonna go to fucking jail. Why? Because the so-called black woman has it better in society than the so-called black man. That's just how it is, man. Hey, we are the ones that get punished, man. We are the ones, hey, for doing anything good. If the so-called black woman says that, oh, we did this or we did that, hey, guess what? We're going to jail, man. Even if she's fucking dead ass wrong, we're still going to jail, because it's not about, it's not about what we did. It's about the simple fact that she opens her mouth and says that we did it, and we must have done it, man. Because the so-called white men and the so-called black woman, hey, they're in cahoots with each other, man. Going all the way back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter, man. Where that serpent, which would be, in spirit an Edomite, but he looked like a Jake at the time. He's dark skinned, but he had the spirit of Satan in him. The same spirit that was in the serpent is the same spirit of Esau, Edom, man. Today, they were in cahoots with each other, man. He beguiled Eve to eat of that fruit, man, which we know that fruit what goes into the philosophies of the other nations, man. Really, Esau, Edom's philosophy, man. She indulged in it, man. She partook in it, man, and tried to get her man, which she, ultimately it ended up happening. Adam eating, of that same fruit, partaking in that same philosophy as she did, man. And who knows, man? She could have, bitch and complained and said, oh no, do this, that, and the third, because that's what women do, man. They nag until the man just fucking snaps, man. On top of that, women are petty as hell. So I was watching I think it was a movie. I think it was a movie or a clip. This woman is sitting there talking shit about a man's dead child, man. Oh no, brothers did a video on how this woman was talking about calling her man a bitch, this, that, and the third, and saying that because his son, because he had a separate son, she has a separate son, but they came together, and talking about how his son died like a bitch because he's a bitch, and he fucking snapped, man. He fucking snapped on her and killed her ass, man. So you women are so goddamn petty, you'll stoop to the lowest level, and hit motherfuckers where extremely hurts, man. If your child died, you wouldn't want nobody to talk about your dead child and calling them a bitch, this, that, and the third, man. You women would snap and really even get away with it, man. So it's completely righteous that a man would snap on you women, man. And get away with it because you women get away with it, man. But that's not the case in society. If a man snaps and hits a woman, he's going to jail for domestic violence. He's going to jail for fighting. He's got to have all these damn charges on his fucking time. He might be gone for 10, 15 years, man. 5, 10 years, Whereas a woman does it, hey, she might go to jail for 6 months, max. She might even do 30 days, 10 days, maybe even a weekend, man. So that's why the household is not the same. You look at the so-called black household, 64% of our households are single parents, man. And it's because of you so-called black women, man. So I don't want to hear and hear all this bullshit of you women saying that us men, us so-called black men, are the problem. You're the problem, man. And then she goes and says, I'll read it again, said the amount of mental manipulation in high domestic violence cases you do towards black women, whilst having the audacity to demand we stick beside you and protest when Brad places his knee of correcting bad behavior on your decrepit neck. That was a straight hit at fucking George Floyd, man. And who knows? She probably don't even know who the hell George Floyd is personally, man. But she wanted to sit there and take a jab at somebody who was innocently killed, man. There was no reason for him to be killed like that, man. If he did something worthy of him being put to jail, hey, then guess what? He should have been put in jail and not killed. Not having his airway completely restricted to where it kills him, to where he can't fucking breathe. That was straight cold-blooded fucking murder, man. And that's why Derek Chauvin got fucking charged with it, man. Because it was cold-blooded murder. There was absolutely no evidence for him to be killed that way. Righteously. But yeah, you got this fucking so-called black woman being so goddamn petty, getting in her goddamn feelings, and calling that man decrepit, man. So because all these things happen to you, why can't you just talk shit about the black man back to him? But no, you want him to get killed. Come on, man. This is the fucking mentality of these so-called black women, man. This is why the so-called, you men out there, hey, don't be dealing with these so-called black women, man. These women will chew you up and spit you the fuck out and not give a fuck about you, man. You cannot be dealing with these damn women, man. It says you didn't care then, so you shouldn't care now. As we're increasingly wising up and choosing better by dating white men, Asian men, and other non-black men, stay mad. And really, you shouldn't even be mad about that, man. You shouldn't even be mad about that, man. You should just be like, hey, cool, do you? I didn't even want you in the first place, man. You women, man, you fucking so-called black women. Really, there's a lot, even these so-called Hispanic women, very little of you so-called Native women, but, a lot, it's the majority of these so-called black women, man. Y'all prideful, man. Y'all fucking prideful, man. And we know in Proverbs 16 and 18, it tells you what? Pride goeth before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall, man. So because you were haughty in the beginning, the Lord Yahweh Shem Shah destroyed your looks, destroyed your your smell, destroyed your hair, your glory. Hey, well, in this time, he's not going to destroy all those things, He's going to just destroy you, man. Hey, for you so-called black women that, that this resonates with, of course, if the shoe fits, wear it. But if this doesn't, if this doesn't apply to you, hey, then, all praise the Yahweh Shem Shai, man, But for the women that, that this applies to, hey, you need to fucking correct yourself, man. You need to get the hell up out of that prideful ass state and realize you were not meant to be by yourself. You were not meant to have that type of attitude. You are meant to serve your husband. You are meant to, be a good homekeeper, cook, take care of the kids, read Titus, the 2nd chapter, read 1 Timothy 2 and the 10th verse on down, man, and so on and so forth. Read these things, man. Get into the scriptures. Understand what a real woman is supposed to be like, and try your best to strive and be just like the women that were in the scriptures, man. Because if you don't, and you don't get it right now, hey, your ass is gonna be fucking destroyed, man. Completely fucking destroyed by Yahweh Shem Shai, man. I want to grab this. I'll just reel it in. I just wanted to get on this because this subject, man, is a heavy subject, man. A lot of you women are gonna perish, man, in the times to come. A lot of you women are gonna be fucked in those days, man. Especially you beautiful women. Those that look a little bit good, those that might have features. Boobs, ass, whatever, curves. And all that goodness, man, is gonna be a curse in them days, man. Why? Because you're gonna have men coming and raping you, as it says in Isaiah 13 chapter the 16th verse. That your children are gonna get killed, and you're gonna get ravished, man. And to ravish means to take forcefully and rape. You women are gonna get fucked in those days, man. And when a man is done with you, after he's done raping you, he's gonna throw you in the trash, man. He's gonna either kill you and go on to the next, especially in Jacob's trouble, which is right around the corner. So this is Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 3. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be that ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger, which is coming real soon. So I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakak Wadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the bishops of Great Millstone, who rule very well, very beautifully. Double salutations to Akim out here pushing his gospel in truth and in sincerity to the best of their ability, given to them by Yahweh Shem Shai. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. May the election Yahweh Shem Shai, Lord willing, fall upon all your houses. I want to say Kwam Yasharallah and Abba Shalom.